into a brand new video. My name is Angelo from Caps on Fire, and in today's video, this is part 3 of how to do sublimation over an entire t-shirt with a small heat press. All right. Once again, this heat press, this is a 16 by 20 heat press. It can be done with the 16 by 24 as well. However, you will want a heat press that is pretty much a portrait style heat press, all right? Not a landscape heat press that is the opposite way. And the reason we want that is because we want to be able to rotate our shirt around our heat press, all right? And you can't really rotate it around your heat press if you do have that landscape style press. All right, so before we get into this video, of course, there are 3 things that I need you all to do, with number 1 being subscribed to the channel. That way you all will be notified whenever I post new content. Number 2, click the link down below to join our Facebook group as we do live tutorials, giveaways. You can showcase your artwork, troubleshoot your printer, all that good stuff. And last but not least, we are the owners of Cosmos Ink. All right, so if y'all need any type of sublimation ink for your projects, feel free to click the link down below. It'll take you to our website where you can go in there and buy all the different supplies you need for sublimation. All right, so now that we got that out the way, let's go ahead and get into this last part number 3 of this tutorial. If you missed the other parts, just click the link down below in the description, and then just follow through the steps for part 1 and part 2. Then eventually you'll land right here. All right, so of course you want a, like I said earlier, you want a portrait style press. All right, this press, this is the signature series heat press by Heat Press Nation, and it has a pull-out drawer, which is extremely helpful for our situation. And the reason it's extremely helpful is because we won't burn our knuckles trying to reach in here. All right, so now that we got that, number 2, the next most important thing, all right, this is what you call hardboard. All right, you can get this hardboard from Home Depot. That's where I recommend you get it from. All right, these sheets, they are initially 4 feet wide by 8 feet long, but of course you can get it cut down. And to give you all the exact measurements, I'm gonna go ahead and measure it right here. All right, so this board is about 38.5 wide. So it's 38.5 wide by 52.5 tall. All right. So now that we got our board measured out, once you have it measured out, just take it to the back at Home Depot, and they'll be able to load it up on their saw back there, and then they can cut it down to the exact dimensions that you want. All right. So once you have your board cut and back at your house, you'll just load it up inside your press, like so. And you are good to go. All right, of course it's gonna bend just a little bit, but as far as the board, I recommend that you get the 1/8 thick inch board and not the I believe it's like a 3/16, so like a 5/16 or something like that. The 1/8 inch board is gonna be a tad bit thicker, which is what you want because you don't want your board to warp too much whenever you put your board on top of your heat press. All right, so now that we got this up here, the next thing you're gonna want is we need that brown piece of paper right over there. All right, this is pretty much craft paper. It's just a longer roll, and you can get this from Uline, you can get it from Office Depot, Office Max. There's a bunch of different places that have this paper that's pretty much this big. Like I said, all it is just craft paper. They do have butcher paper as well, but you know, this was a lot easier for me to find. All right, if you can find actual butcher paper this size, go ahead and get that. That'll work just as fine too. Also, when you start out, of course, you all can see the temperature. It'll be like right here. All right, right here. All right, 400 degrees for 60 seconds. That's the normal time you will need to press your t-shirts, all right, when dealing with sublimation. So what we want to do is we want to pull out our paper about the length of our board, and then we'll cut it. All right, now that we got our paper all cut out, we can actually cut down here a little bit just to trim this edge off. Now, we take our shirt, we're gonna load it up, and then we're gonna hit it with the lint roller, all right? If you haven't done sublimation before, and after you heat press your t-shirt, you notice those little blue squiggly lines on your shirt? That comes from lint, because the lint will naturally turn blue whenever you put too much heat on it for too long. So to avoid that from happening, we're gonna hit our shirt with our lint roller. So we're just gonna load it up, get our roller. Let's get a new sheet. Always start off with a new sheet during your run. All right, always do that. Also, this shirt, this is a Jersey's 21M shirt. All right, so Jersey's 21M, and also it's large to match the large template that we use to back in part number 1. So now that we hit it with the lint roller, next step is we want to put some type of barrier in between the shirt, on the inside of the shirt. And the reason you're doing that is because when you go to sublimate it, sublimation is a gas, all right? So what you don't want to happen is you don't want the gas to go through your shirt and then end up going on the back of your shirt, which will put a really nasty, faded image on the back of your shirt. So to prevent any type of bleeding happening as far as ink going through the shirt, we're gonna take some butcher paper, we're gonna cut it up, and we're gonna put it inside the shirt, and that'll be our barrier. Also, I will put a link down below for that butcher paper holder right there that I just used to pull this paper out and pretty much cut it at the same time. It is extremely, extremely useful. All right, I love it. You may have to play with it a little bit just to get that paper down in there, so it'll be nice and snug inside. All right, and because since this shirt is so big, on one side it's showing just a little bit of room on that side for potential ink to bleed through. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull out another sheet and we're just gonna overlap it and kind of offset it to the side, because as I can see, all of this right here in this area, like this much, all of this, there's no paper right there. It's only right here. So yeah, we're gonna pull out one more. We're gonna put another piece right here, and then we're gonna put a piece inside the sleeve right here, and then a little bit right here in this collar area. Go through this arm to pull this paper over a little bit, and sometimes it will catch on the inside because you do have serrated edges, so it may catch the cloth sometimes here and there. So you might have to go in there and manually fix it, with your hands. All right, so we just need 3 more pieces, one for each sleeve, one for the collar. Make it a little bit perfect for that sleeve to just slide right up in there. I'm gonna do this. Put this right there. I'm gonna get actually I don't have a pen, and I kind of don't want to mark it just because I don't want any type of other substance to mess with the sublimation process. So I'm gonna just put this right there, then I'm gonna fold this edge down, pretty much line it up with that sleeve. That's good. Line it up. I'm gonna put inside the paper trimmer, and I'm gonna cut right down that. Yep, that looks really good. Go ahead and slide it in. And I'm only rolling it up so I can be able to push it in there, and then we'll unroll it while it's inside. So that looked pretty good. Then do it one more time for this sleeve. But this one, it's a little bit too much because when they go inside, it's expanding a whole lot over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it right about right here. Now we got it flattened out. We can pull it out a little bit, and that'll kind of create a type of jig for that to hold it in place. Last but not least, just the collar, and that'll be it. Actually, all I'm gonna do is just fold this and see how wide it is. So yeah, it's about that wide. We'll just put it down in there. All right, and there we have it. So now that we got that done, what you want to do now is you want to pre-press your shirt. And this is extremely important that you do this, because if you ever seen some type of, some shirts that are sublimated all over, it may be creases on the side or creases right here that didn't sublimate properly. So to reduce the chances of that happening, if you pre-press your shirt, it'll flatten out all those wrinkles, so then you can get a really, really good press. All right, so we'll just leave this on the thing the way it is. Actually, we'll slide it up just a little bit. And so from here, we can go ahead and start pre-pressing. So all we want to do now is we want to slide our paper. We can slide our shirt over here, then we can pre-press it. All right. Make sure the drawer is in all the way, and we're good. So we're only gonna press it for about 4 or 5 seconds. All right, that should be good. I may want to press this just one more time, just because I saw a few wrinkles in there. I kind of want to get those out. We got that one. We'll slide it over and press again. And with this press, because it is a auto lock where it's not going to pop up, just hit this red button on the side, and that pretty much acts as an e-stop. And it'll just automatically release the press. And so from here, we just flip our shirt around. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Now that we have that done, turn our shirt back around. And flatten it out maybe just a little bit more. Just rub your hands across it. And creases like right here, we can just pull that out as much as possible just by pulling the shirt a little bit. This side is good. And if we really want to get that crease out, we can just turn our paper. Actually, it should be low enough to where the heat press should hit it. Yep, it's a little bit low enough. So we probably can press that out. Yep, we good. All right. So from here, pull the drawer out. And then we're gonna get that big sheet of paper that we made earlier in part 2. So this is the big sheet. Really big sheet. All right. What I'm gonna do with this is on the edges, right around the red lines, right here, I'm gonna trim as close as possible to those red lines, all right? And the reason why I'm doing this is because when we go to put our when we go to put this on top of our shirt, a lot of I'm not gonna say a lot, but generally when they do print an image out on that large style printer, that paper already have an adhesive on it, so it sticks to the shirt. But in our case, we don't want to use that adhesive. So to stop the paper from shifting, I'm gonna trim as close to these red lines, those bleed lines, as possible, and then we're gonna get the heat tape, and then we're gonna tape it down to this brown paper. So that way now this won't move when we go to shift our shirt around and press it section by section. Get the scissors, we'll just cut it. As you all can see, here it is. Now just be careful when you do cut it, because sometimes you may cut that tape that's on the back. All right, so now that we have this done, we can go ahead and lay this on top of our shirt. And all you do now is just go around the edges just to be sure everything is within your red lines, which is your bleed edge. Make sure everything's inside of it. Bottom is good. This side is good. Let's check the top. Collar part is a little good. Probably can slide our shirt up just a little bit. Check the sleeves. Make sure nothing's getting on the sleeves. Good. Is the bottom still good? Yep, the bottom is still good. And up, this sleeve is not good, so we'll just angle it just a little bit to get that sleeve in there. Top is good too. So now we'll get the tape and we'll go ahead and tape it down. And if you all can see, I put some tape right here on this edge because I did cut that tape when I went to cut the outline. Well, went to cut around the outline. So I'm just killing two birds with one stone pretty much with this. Just taping that sheet of paper down, plus taping that sheet and the other sheet to the craft paper. Then from here, you can just do a speed tape. Just tape the corners like this. That. As I said earlier, another reason why we're taping this down is not only we don't want that top part to move, we also don't want the shirt underneath to move as well. So by us taping this down, it's pretty much just restricting the shirt to the board. All right, it's putting a little bit of pressure on it from the paper. Plus, since it's tight around the edges, the shirt ain't got nowhere to go. Now that it's, oh, get this part right here before I forget it. That's it. So now we'll just slide it back in. And we'll press starting from this side first and then just work our way over, flip it around, and then press the bottom just like we did earlier. Shirt's right here, so we're good. Put it down some, we're good again. And so here we go. And we're gonna press each section at 400 degrees for 60 seconds, all right? And then the thing I like about this heat press is once that timer goes down to 0, well, it's about like 4 or 5 seconds from 0, it'll start making a beeping noise, and that's just to warn you that, hey, you know, the heat press is about to lift up. When it gets to 0, it'll automatically lift up. All right. Another thing, since we gotta press this in sections, it is okay to press a little bit of the same section twice. All right, so when we go to shift this over, we're not going to shift it all the way completely over. We're going to shift it over to leave just a slither of what we previously pressed, and then we'll press that part again. All right, because the ink is not going to go anywhere. So yeah, it's okay if we press certain areas, you know, twice. Lift up. So as you can see, this part is done sublimating, all right? It already leaked through the shirt, well, leaked through the paper and everything. So now we are good to go to the next part, leaving a slither of that available for us to repress. We can pull the press down just a tad to be sure. We're pressing the same spot again. We're good. And then press. And like I said, another reason earlier why we did the whole flap situation is because, one, we needed something to tape the sheets together to, and also we can be able to overlap our image just a little bit so we don't have any white lines that will be going down, you know, our shirt or anything like that, where you can be able to tell like, hey, it was page breaks, you know. So by us overlapping the ink just a tad, the ink will pretty much fuse together and it'll do what it needs to do on the shirt. All right. Also, I want to give a shout out to my boy. All right. He did this shirt for me. I appreciate it. I highly appreciate he did it for me and my whole family. I appreciate it. So now that that's done, we're going to slide it over and do the next part. Also, you all may be wondering, can you make this type of shirt on this press pretty much using this method? The answer is yes and no. All right, you can do all over sublimation, which is what this is. However, this shirt is what you call a cut and sew. So they will pretty much have all the patterns out. They will heat press each pattern and then they will stitch it all together. Like if this was sublimated like this, how this is going down, like a reptile is going down, it will also be going down on the sleeves where I have Cosmos ink right here. It wouldn't be able to go right here on the side of the sleeve. It would have to be right here, and it will, shirt would be like this, so it would be angling down like this. When I put my arm down, Cosmos ink, it would have been turned sideways. Same with its company, the print pack and ship shop as well. So now we're gonna take it, we're gonna flip it around, and we're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. And be careful. The board is extremely hot. So please be careful. Gonna line it up, make sure everything is in the press. We can kind of press what we did earlier on this top part. Have that in there just a tad. And press. So as you all can see, we're kind of working our way around. Hopefully you guys can see it on the camera, but like I said earlier, the ink did come through a little bit, which is 100% normal. It is gonna look like this. I do recommend putting another sheet of butcher paper on top, just because sometimes the ink may bleed through the actual paper and then get on the top platen, and then when you go to press your next shirt, you get an unpleasant surprise. All right, so you definitely do not want that ink to be on your top platen, because it'll bounce back down onto the next item you press. But there's an easy way to get rid of that once it get back on there, and I'll show you all how to do that in just a second. So that's pressed, and now we are on to the last section. so once this is done, all we're gonna do is just we're gonna move this over here. I'm gonna leave this brown paper, and then we're just gonna take the ink off, you know, just in case if there is any ink on that top plane. And this is one of the best ways to actually check if you have it on there. Actually, we're gonna leave this on there. I'm gonna just rip off some butcher paper, some white butcher paper, and then sit it in there, and then we're gonna see if we can catch any ink that possibly may be on that top plane. And y'all, once again, don't worry, all right? This takes practice, all right? Nothing is learned overnight. Nothing at all right? So just bear with it, learn the process, and then just practice over and over and over. As I said earlier, repetition is the best teacher. So this is done. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, and we're gonna see how we did. Alright, awesome. Alright, so this is the sheet. Alright, this is after it's been in the heat press. And now, here is our shirt, sublimated all over on a small style heat press. So from here, I can go ahead and remove the paper that was to catch the extra ink. As you all can see, it did catch the extra ink right here. This was on the collar. And then we have a few on the inside. We can pull that out. And next time, I gotta make sure to extend that butcher paper all the way down outside of the shirt, because if you don't, obviously this will happen. All right, but it's still on the inside of the shirt, but still though, to make it look more professional, just extend the butcher paper down all the way out the shirt. Give it maybe like a couple inches, well, maybe not like a couple inches, like at least 1 inch past the shirt, so that way this won't happen. But it is on the inside of the shirt, so we got away with that one. This is it. All right. I'll put this right here. And better yet, this is, now I got a little bit of ink on it, so we're gonna discard that. Gonna pull out some more butcher paper. Couple of sheets, and we're gonna press it for just 60 seconds, all right? And then after that, once the heat press pop back up, we'll be able to look at the butcher paper. If there's any ink on the butcher paper, then you can do maybe maybe do this process like one more time. But after that one more time, it shouldn't be picking up or putting down any more ink if it is on your top platen, because at that point, it'll pretty much be burned out. All right. So that pretty much wraps up everything in this 3-part series. If you need that template will be linked down below in the description. It'll be in this video, it'll be in part 2, it'll be in part 1, it'll be in all the parts. So that way, just look down there, just click that link, it'll take you to our store, and then you can go ahead and grab the template. All right. So that is it. It has been a long little series, and I will see you all in the very next video. All right, Angelo, out. And no ink.